real cluttered here in both divisions. The AFC division is not as cluttered because you have Boys and Crusher that are in pretty good positions record-wise and point-wise. So they're both pretty well locked into a playoff spot one way or the other. Like I said, I'm locked in for sure the top three. And Crusher could be caught, but I don't know the tiebreaker with him and Real Deal. Uh, well, only Real Deal can catch him, and Real Deal's in third. So Crusher's is locked in as well. So those are the two teams that are locked into playoff spots right now. Real Deal is in really good shape as the number three scoring team. And those three teams in a row, the Boys, Crusher, and Real Deal, coincidentally, are the top three scoring teams in the league, and they're also in the top three spots in the AFC. So Real Deal, even though he's only got a one-game lead over Don Mega, No Limit, and Clyde, is in real good position for a wild card. So Real Deal is in really good shape as far as getting into the playoffs. Don Mega, big game, 98 points last week. Perfect timing because a lot of teams didn't score, and he made some huge or gained some big ground on some teams last week, putting up that 98 points when he did. So that bumped him all the way up to the number four scoring team. In fact, I just realized that those top four teams in the AFC are the top four scoring teams in the whole league right now. You put the Boys, Crusher, Real Deal, and Don Mega. So he's not locked in for a wild card, but he's in a really good position, and he still has a good shot at potentially catching Real Deal. And then it comes down to that head-to-head tiebreaker. So I don't know what that looks like yet. Clyde at 5-6, No Limit at 5-6, are right there with Don Mega at 5-6. So they can both, all three, catch Real Deal. And then it's going to come down to those head-to-head games. So I'll break that down more detail next week when we're going into the final week, once we see how this all plays out. And I'll know what the tiebreakers look like. Going into the NFC division, Warriors, that's really cluttered, man. Everybody in that league, in that division rather, still has some kind of a potential shot. Even down to Gangsters and Just for Fun at 4-7. The Warriors and Bet Your Money at 6-5 are 2 games ahead of them. So if either those teams lose 2 games in a row and Just for Fun and Gangsters win 2, they can catch them, but then they have to leapfrog Illmatic, Bomb Squad, and the Eagles, who are all 5-6. So that we'll see. I ain't going to try to figure that out yet. That's going to really come down to what happens this week. But the Warriors and Bet Your Money, they, for the most part, control their own destiny, so they need to keep winning. And Illmatic, who's in a really good position for a wild card spot, he's the number 5 scoring team at 747 points. So Illmatic doesn't need to necessarily stay in a third spot position. But Bomb Squad and the Eagles, Bomb Squad is 708 points, which I think puts him number 6 in scoring. Outside shot at a wild card, depending on how everything plays out. But it is an outside shot. So Bomb Squad really needs to keep winning as well to get in. And definitely the Eagles are probably totally out of it for a wild card. So they need to get in that third, or well, it could be a number 1 position. But he needs to get in on a top 3 position, the Eagles do. So that like I said, that's real muddied up. But that's where we kind of stand right now. So we got, some 4 or 5 pretty solid definites to get into the playoffs, and 4 or 5 positions that, 3 or 4 positions that are wide open. So we'll see how it all plays out this week. And next week I'll break it down in more detail as far as tiebreakers, who holds what over who, and how that all looks. I might even write that up because that might be too complicated to just video. So anyway, fellas, have a good Thanksgiving with the families. And we'll get out there and do this turkey bowl in the morning. I hope I don't hurt myself. So we'll see how that plays out. And good luck. And we'll talk to everybody next week. Peace.